Paper 2, reading non-fiction. It's a 2-hour exam, 2.5 hours if you have 25% extra time. 1 hour for the reading, 1 hour for the writing. They've both worth 40 marks, so spend the same time on each of them. So it's 30% of your whole grade, 2 extracts to read, and you got 6 questions, and around 18 out of 40 gets you a grade 4. So there's only 3 sort of questions really. So there's question 1 and question 3 are information retrieval, 2 and 4 are language analysis, and then 5 and 6 comparing. Questions 1 and 2 are on the new extract, 3 and 4 on the old, 5 and 6 on both. They're the rough timings. Pause if you want to. Good exam technique then, leave a 1-line gap between each of your quotes, start a new page for each question so you can go back and put quotation marks around every single quote, make it nice and easy for the examiner. Here they are. So if I want to go back at the end of the exam and add more to question 4, for example, it's really easy. I don't have to draw arrows. So this is a good exam technique. You must time manage, look at the clock before you start each question. Question 1 and 3 information retrieval. So you read the extract, you get 3 simple questions, and you just find it in the text. So 1 sentence for each one. If you can't find an answer, go back at the end. You've got to get to the 10-mark questions. You can't spend 5 minutes looking for 1 mark. Question 2 is language analysis. Here's an example. How does the writer try to show that prisoners live in extremely tough conditions? So you'd read the extract, try to pick out 5 to 10 quotes. You have 13 minutes. And why do we want a lot of quotes? Well, it's basically 1 quote equals 1 mark. So the person on the left did 1 quote, so they'd get 1 out of 10. The person did 8 on the right, so they get 8 out of 10. These people were just as good at English as each other. Just because the person on the right's got good exam technique, they did well. Remember, it's all about quotes this exam. So pick as many 1 or 2 words quote as you can for 13 minutes for a 10-mark question. Once your time up is on a question, move on. You must finish the exam. So it doesn't matter if you've done 2 quotes or 8 quotes. When your time is up, you move on. You've got to get to questions 5 and 6, which are probably the easiest questions on the exam. You need to use a range of quotes in the beginning, middle, and extract. So don't do this. Try to at least show the examiner that you've read all of the extract. Be a human dictionary, pick out words and say what they mean. So let's say the question was, how does the writer show the climber's injury? And the quote was, he shattered his leg. It could have said he hurt his leg or he injured his leg. The writer has used shattered intentionally because, what does it mean? Well, it basically means broken into small pieces, destroyed. So my answer would be, the writer shows his injury with the quote, he shattered his leg. Shattered tells me his leg's been destroyed and broken into many small pieces. Remember, each of your answers try to get the question involved, the quote, and explain why the effect of the words. So again, this one was about a boy sailing around the world. The quote was, how does the writer show Ben Fogle a tough journey? The quote was, he experienced monstrous storms. Again, be a human dictionary. Why have they used the adjective monstrous? Well, what is a monster? So it's probably something that is, big, scary, gigantic, horrible. And again, I'm basically using the definition and putting it into my answer. Question 4 is just the same as question 2, but for the other extract. You may have to agree with the question. Question 5 and 6 are the same. My advice would be to you to not compare. Okay, so don't compare on these questions. You can still get 4 out of 4 for question 5 and 8 out of 10 for question 6 by basically just finding the quotes and putting them in the answer. So it's the same as question 1, but it's for both texts and you're going to put it into a paragraph. So for the 4-mark question, question 5, find 2 quotes from each. For the 10 marks for question 6, try to find 5 quotes from each. You don't have to compare. You don't need to do PEs or PEAs or any sort of explaining. Okay, so example would be, this was about an elephant. Explain briefly what the 2 writers tell readers about Jumbo's food and drink. So you'd go through the extract trying to find anything what it says about food and drink. Question 5, you get 4 marks. Question 6, you got 10 marks. Find the quotes. Be clear which text you're talking about. The easiest way is by using the writer's surnames, which it will say on the exam paper. So they're their names, underline them. So the question was about what the elephant's food and drink. Lee says his diet consisted largely of sticky buns, and he drank whiskey and beer. Jumbo's daily diet was composed of hay. Scott says Jumbo drank chiefly water. Remember, you don't need to explain it. This would get me 4 marks out of 4. All the examiner's looking for is the quotes. Question 6 is exactly the same, but it's 10 marks, so you're looking for 5 quotes from each. And again, all I'm doing is whatever the focus of the question is, I'm trying to find the answers, put them in the paragraph, and I'd easily get 8 out of 10. So remember, Time manage, when your time's up on a question, move on. Keep your eye on the clock throughout the exam. Keep a one-line gap. There's no need to say something's a word or say a quote is a verb or a noun. If you run out of time on a 10-mark question, just do like a simple question. Don't explain it. If the quote is obvious, there's no need to explain, and finish all questions.